Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2, and today I'm going to be giving you part 6 of What If Naruto Was the Legendary Uchiha x Namikaze. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was Put Through Hell and Adopted by the Raikage on this channel, and enjoy that guys. And I also post a brand new episode over in Anime King 3 of What If Naruto Had the Ultimate Nature Bloodline, so go ahead and enjoy that as well. And I also post a brand new episode over Anime King of What If Naruto Was the Hope of the Uchiha Clan, so go ahead and enjoy that as well. And yeah, without further ado, what do you say begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last time we left off, they were discussing on what to do, as Minato had revealed everything that he knew about the Akatsuki and who the members were. Jiraiya got really pissed off when he was asked how he knew the member called Konan. As he was a goddamn spy master, he was supposed to know. Well, he was really pissed because he thought that he had died, and that meant that Nagato and Yaiko. Could it be that Nagato was the one? Those eyes. As the man was really pissed off, Tsunade knew about it, but she and Orochimaru had covered for him, and no one knew that he went on that sabbatical, where he took care of these kids that he found in the rain. Now she knew that they were alive, and she could see the trauma that he was going through. Meanwhile, as Naruto had found Mikasa, as she brought him towards where Armin was, as he was being picked on as Mikasa ran in, as she beat the crap out of the bullets. She spoke to Armin and Naruto did as well, as Armin was afraid. And he also was angry because his parents gave their best for this village and they died, and all they got was their name on the monument. He disrespected the village as Naruto got angry and slammed him into the wall, as he told him not to do that, and not solely his parents sacrificed after all. They gave their life to protect him, and the others' future as well. So with that, they made their way after they heard footsteps, as they saw the people moving out as a war was already starting. As Naruto saw a Jonin apologizing to his daughter, as he told her he'll be back, she made him promise not to leave her like her mom left her. As the man was going to war and didn't even know if he was going to come back, as it made Naruto slam his face into the wall. This is why he had to join this Black Light. This is why he had to get stronger. As he ran off, leaving Mikasa and Armin, as he really hoped that they were going to join as well. So with that, he made his way. It took him a while to reach home. As he snuck in, he woke up in the night to see his father in his bed as well, as his father came to sleep in his room, as Mikoto was in the right, state for him to do anything, as she was really pissed off. The next morning she was there as she told him, what about her? What if he died out there? As she told him that she would not stand for this, but he told her sorry that he was still gonna go, and it made her so angry, as she did not talk to him or Minato for the rest of the week. As the 2 weeks passed, Naruto has been talking with Shisui, as Shisui trained him to get him prepared for what he was about to face out there, as he was going to go to boot camp. As the day finally came, as Naruto saw Itachi, Itachi was against the idea as well, as Itachi apologized that he couldn't do anything to help, but Naruto told him that it was fine, as he was a bigger brother, as he wanted to take care of him, as he said goodbye to his little brother and told him that you always love him. As Itachi's eye changed, a single Tomo popped up in his third eyes as he awakened the Sharingan, unknowns to him. As Naruto found his mother at the gate, her back was turned to him, as she warned him, if he stepped through that gate to never come back. It was a spur of the moment thing. It's not like she meant it, she loved him despite everything, but she just didn't want him to go because this organization, she didn't want him to die. But he apologized as he left, with a heavy heart as she broke down and started to cry. So yeah guys, so basically that's what left off. You guys can switch across the place, check it out for yourself, so let's begin this new episode. After leaving the compound, Naruto reached the edge of the North Gate. His escorts were going to meet him 2 kilometers away from the village. From there, he was going to be transported to the unknown location and that was supposed to be where Blacklight was. But he was quite surprised when he saw his father, Kagami, and Shisui. They were all waiting for him. He went towards them and gave them one last respectful bow. Shisui came forward and gave him a black face mask. I know you like it. It's a gift from me and Kakashi. He wanted to come but he has been sent to the front. Watch each other backs and you make it back alive, says Shisui. As Naruto embraced his uncle. Thank you, he said. Kagami then stepped forward and took something from his pouch. It was a metallic forehead protector that was the same as the second Hokage. As he handed it to Naruto, fight with courage and honor, and bring glory to this forehead protector in your country, said Kagami, as he patted Naruto on the shoulder. I promise, said Naruto honestly. He stepped towards his father who hugged him tightly. No father could ask for a better son, said Minato proudly. Please take care of mom and Itachi. Naruto said sadly, as Minato pulled that through from kunai. Father, this is... Yes. If you're in danger, just throw it nearby, and I'll come to help you as soon as possible. Thank you, said Naruto, as he gave one last look to his father, as both of them understand. They loved each other. Well, I guess it's a goodbye for now, said Naruto. There is someone waiting for you, said Minato, as Naruto looked back to see Mikasa and Armin. Mikasa was wearing black pants and a grey t-shirt. Her hair was tied in a ponytail. She was looking very beautiful. Armin was wearing a white t-shirt and dark green pants, his brown hair flowing in the air. I'm coming with you. It's my turn to protect this village, just like my parents and grandparents, Armin said. I will go too, said Mikasa. Mikasa, you don't have to. Didn't you say survival was important, said Naruto, as he had a feeling that Armin would come, but he never thought that she would join. That's right, that is why I'm going. To keep the both of you from dying, she said. Hearing her say the both of you, it made Naruto feel happy. Alright then, said Naruto. Let's move out. As they ran out of the gates to begin their journey. They didn't know though, that hell was awaiting them. Time skip, in a small field in the forest, stood 300 people in a row, different rows. All of them had something in common. All of them were kids and they were wearing the same uniform, as they were the trainee of the Blacklight Force. The dangerous force in the world. Black pants, combat boots, dark brown jacket with a small blue shirt underneath it. All of them Konoha headband around their forehead. There was nothing but silence, because not even a single cadet spoke. All of them were young and today, their life was going to change forever. The firm footsteps of someone was heard as a man walked inside the field, his eyes looking at each of the cadets. They're far too young, the man thought. Commander Fox had fought in 2 great shinobi wars, and he was one of the most decorative shinobi in the history of Konoha. He knew how bloody a war was, and how much people suffer in a war, and looking at these kids' faces made him hate war even more. They were the best soldiers of their country, and they were throwing them in a world war, where most of them will be slaughtered. But it had to be done, they were shinobis. And this was the reality of their world. His eyes spotted a brown-haired boy. As his eyes could see straight through the boy's heart, his veteran eyes, Commander Fox, named Han, stepped in front of the boy. As the boy instantly saluted the officer. Who are you, said Han. He had to begin the process that has been followed in Blacklight since the beginning. Armin Otler from Konoha, sir, said Armin. As Armin was afraid, after all, the fox masked with that huge sword strapped on Han's back. Any 8-year-old would be afraid. Why are you here? Asked Han firmly. To fight for Konoha and kill all the enemies. Han snorted as he grabbed Armin and lifted him off the ground. The only one that is gonna die is you, he said, as he threw Armin on the ground. As his sharp ears heard fists clenching as he saw 2 people glance at him hatefully for a moment. So, they're your friends, Han thought. He then saw the cadets were a bit worried of him, and this is what he wanted. It is right here where you will test their resolve, provided they survive. And less than 100 would. That crafty son of a bitch, Minato. He told the council pure lies. If they saw what these kids were gonna go through, they would have had his head, thought Han. But he fully supported Minato. This was a world where the weak perish and the strong survive. As he stepped in front of a young girl, she had a very mischievous look on her face. Han knew that she was one of those that were dangerous. Who are you? He said loudly. Yo, old man. Uncle Minarashi, here to kick some ass. Uncle had to dodge as Han tried to punch her in the face. Good reflex, he thought. Before Uncle could blink, she felt a metal pressed up against her throat, as Han was no longer in front of her. Call me old, and I'll kill you, Han said, as he leaked a bit of killing intent. Her cheerfulness vanished. Yes, sir, Uncle said. Before anyone else could say anything, someone yawned. Han was surprised as he released Anko, who was relief as he walked towards his target. What was that? As Han bumped her a bit on the head. She rubbed her head a bit slowly, but instead of being scared, she just looked at him with a lazy look on her face. Come on. It's still 3 a.m. in the morning, sir. I'm still a bit sleepy, as she yawned, right in Han's face. First, one was a nervous wreck. The other one was an idiot and now a lazy ass. What crime had he done that he had to train them to become blacklight soldiers? Who are you? He said, as all of lazy attitude vanished away from her face. Ranjiko Matsumoto, from Tensiko village, she said, here to save my country. He was satisfied that she had some resolve, at least. You wouldn't be able to save crap, he said, as he ruffled her silky blonde hair roughly. You have no right to say that. As an angry voice spoke up behind her, as he saw a boy with blonde hair. And he was wearing a face mask, but those cold black eyes. He could recognize him anywhere. Han stepped in front of him and looked at him murderously. Kids like these were the first one to get killed. A Uchiha perhaps. As he flicked his forehead, know that the war has begun. No names matter. Han was surprised by the empty look in his eyes. Just who are you, kid? Han asked. Something bad must have happened to him. Such a cool look at such a young age. I'm no one. The only thing I want to do is kill anyone that harm my brother. And I will do anything to protect him. As Han smiled behind his mask. I see. But still, what's your name? That's an order. Naruto Namikaze. Everyone was surprised. The Hokage's son was here. Han had heard about this boy, and he was resolved to protect his brother. Han raised his key as everyone shut their mouths. Like he said, names don't matter. I asked some of you why you're here, and only his answer is a bit satisfactory. I'm Commander Fox, and it's a disgrace that I have to train a worthless piece of trash like you. As he saw angry look appear in their faces. As I thought, they're very raw, he thought to himself. You think you're blacklight. You're nothing but crap. Nothing but cattle, he said. We don't need cowards, we need soldiers. From today, you are no one. You don't want to be no one. Whatever. You were in the past, rich, clan heir, or any other crap. None of it matters anymore. From now on, you're expendable soldiers, ready to be sacrificed at any moment for a nation. But we thought that we're in blacklight now, asked a young, purplier girl. Kid, the day you kill every emotion in your heart, that is the day you become a blacklight. When you're ready to kill your friends, your family, your love, and yourself, that is the day you become a blacklight. The day you erase your existence, that is when you become a blacklight. Can you do that? He asked. She took a step back in fear. Talking about sacrificing yourself was one thing, but actually doing it. You are right, Commander. We are worthless piece of trash. I broke the heart of the person I love the most. I'm sure many of us have done the same thing to get here. So through whatever obstacle you have at us, we will become blacklight and nothing can stop us, said Naruto, as Han noticed the contents reappearing in many of the cadets. Always loudmouth, but still, thought Mikasa with a smile on her face. Rinjuku, the blonde girl, narrowed her eyes as well. This boy had supported her, indirectly, but still. She wanted to see how he looked, but the mask was over his face. Namikaze and Naruto, you seem to be quite interesting, thought Rinjuku, with a smile on her face. Show off. I'll show him who's the boss here, said Genma. He really wanted to show how special he was, and he was not gonna let Naruto get into his way. I bet you won't have the same contents by tomorrow, Namikaze, said Han. Enough talking since you all are such cocky little brats. Give me a 2, bad run, right now. Time skip. Tired. Wasn't even the right word. Han had ripped them apart. It started from running, then exercising, then running once again, without any food or water. Many of them fell unconscious due to fatigue and dehydration, and Han told them that this was just warming for the hell that was coming. None of them knew what the hell was. Mikasa was tending to the wounds on arm and right leg. He had tripped over a rock. He wasn't given any medication, he was just told to keep on running. How's the wound now? Does it hurt? Mikasa asked. Armin gave her a small smile. It's better than before, thank you. Don't worry, I'll be fine by tomorrow. As they saw the other cadets busy talking, or trying to eat some food that was provided to them, many of them were asleep on the tables while some of them were eating, like they had been starved for days. She couldn't understand why they were given such a delicious dinner. As they were eating to their heart content, something was wrong. There was barely enough soldiers here to train them all. And Armin told that he did not see any equipments at all. But right now, her eyes were looking at Naruto, as Armin followed her eyes. As she was looking at Naruto, who was talking to a girl, she looked angry, and a bit jealous as well. My, I never thought you could impress a person like her, Naruto, thought Armin, as he looked towards Mikasa. Meanwhile, as Rinjuku had just came and dragged Naruto away, many boys were looking at him with jealous looks on their faces, while the girls were looking at her as well with jealousy. Out of nowhere, she just kissed him on the cheek like that. As Naruto was shocked, he didn't expect it. He was grateful that he had his mask on. You didn't need to do that, he said. He had to admit, she was beautiful, but his mind was focused on a black-haired beauty, who was now looking at him with murderous gazes. She wrapped her arms around his neck. You stood up for me against Commander, and I'm grateful for that, she said. It was not just for you. He trashed Armin as well, and he insulted all of us, and I couldn't control my anger. That's what I like about you, she said. What, said Naruto? She chuckled as she ruffled his hair. You're just like me, you say what's in your heart. And I like your honesty, she said. As two others joined them. One was Uncle and the other one was a purple girl that asked one question. There was also two other boys. One of them had black spiky hair with a bandage run across his nose, while the other one had brown hair that was covered by a light bandana, and another one chewing on a senbon with a bandana as well. Nice speech there, smartass, the senbon boy said. Well, I said what was on my mind. Nothing else, said Naruto. A feeling got him believing that this guy was not here to be his friend. Yeah, thanks to your loud mouth. We had to do exercise for an extra hour. How do you justify that? What's your name, said Naruto. The name is Genma. Like I said, Genma, I'm here to protect my brother. And if the instructor punched your whole group, it's not my problem. You're in an envoy force, so there's no room for complaint. Genma got mad as he grabbed Naruto by the collar. Listen to me clearly, Namikaze. This is not your house, nor are you the Hokage's kid here. So kindly shut your mouth, or else, said Genma. And to make his point clear, he squeezed Naruto's collar more tighter. Come on guys, calm down, there is no need for a fight, Uncle said, as she was backed by the purple girl. Oi Genma, there's no need for such a fight. It was the commander who punished us. It is not his fault, the spiky hair boy said. Shut Kitetsu, said Genma. Another boy named Aizumo was about to speak up, but someone intervened, as both Genma and Naruto were thrown on the floor. As Naruto looked up to see that it was Mikasa sitting on him, and she had a foot on Genma. Naruto was shocked as he looked up at her. You should not engage in useless fights, she said. This seemed to make Naruto even more angry. You have no right to tell me that, he said. And for a moment he saw shock in her blue eyes. Fine, she said as she got up and walked away. The others were stunned on seeing her taking down two boys so easily. Damn, she's fast. Genma thought as he was impressed. Cute as well. As he looked towards Namikaze, Armin stepped forward and offered his hand as he held Naruto up. He then looked towards all the cadets. We're all cadets here, he said. If any of you were offended, I apologize on Naruto and Mikasa's behalf. Genma averted his gaze as everyone started to look at him for starting such a stupid fight. It's alright, no harm done, I'm Katetsu. And this is my friend Aizumo, said Katetsu, as he offered a handshake. As the others started to introduce himself. I'm Uchiha Uzuki, Genma Shinori. I am Aoba Yashimaru. I'm Shizune Kito, Yamato Nahara, Hana Inuzaka, Uncle Midarashi. More and more people came together as he started to introduce himself, and they were all going into this as a team. So, if they were not friends, how would they defeat the enemy if they were fighting against each other? A good 30 minutes later, Naruto, Armin, and Rinjuku were sitting in a small corner. Genma and Naruto had stopped their fights. Rinjuku was joking with Armin until she noticed Naruto sitting silent as Armin noticed that as well. Mikasa, said Armin. As Naruto was surprised at his friend, read his thoughts. I was rude to her, said Naruto. Naruto, you need to understand Mikasa. She may seem a bit cool, but she cares about you. If you and Genma had fought, you'd have ended up in detention, and she didn't want that, said Armin. Is she your good friend? Rinjuku asked. From their chat, she could see that they were close to each other. She's my first friend, said Naruto. But sometimes I can't understand her. A part of him was still broken, as he remembered what he did. Leaving his mother like that, leaving her heart broken, it's still paining to this day. That was something that he could not forget. Even if what he was doing was right, he still blamed himself for breaking her heart, and he hated himself for it. You don't know about her past, but I'm sure one day you'll be able to understand her, said Armin. What do you mean by that? Rinjuku asked. It is something that you need to ask her, or she would tell you herself, said Armin. Hey, could I become one of your friends? You guys seem like good people, and Mikasa is a decent girl. as Naruto cut her off and placed a hand on her shoulder. "You are more than welcome in our group. Just no kissing in public," he said, jokingly. Rinjuku hugged Naruto happily, as Armin chuckled. "No promises," she said, as all three of them laughed here and there. Maybe they could help each other in this war. Time skip. Mikasa was in a corner of the base by herself. It was already night time, and most of the cadets had gone into their barracks. Only a few minutes left until curfew. No one is allowed to step outside once that happened. Her mind was rethinking about the incident that happened during dinner, as she wondered if she did the right thing. She wouldn't lie, seeing Naruto with Rinjuku made her a bit angry. She just didn't know why. She knew that they were just friends, but he should have spent more time with her and Armin. They didn't even know Rinjuku until this day, and he got so angry when she stopped him from fighting Genma. She didn't know what was going on. Before they left Konoha, he was so kind, friendly, but now he was a shell of his former self. It was like something changed him before he left. He was still a good person, but different. She was interrupted from her thoughts when someone sat down beside her. She was surprised that someone was able to see her in this darkness. It was Naruto himself. "How did you find me?" she asked. She was quite surprised though when he came forward and wiped away the tears away from her cheeks, as she didn't even know that she was crying. "I'm at Sensor," he said. "I can find you no matter where you are," he said. "Is that a good or a bad thing?" she asked. "I'm sorry for what happened back there," said Naruto. "You don't have to apologize. Besides, who am I to say anything to you?" She was surprised when he grabbed her hand. "You were my friend, and it was my fault. I was angry at Genma, and if you had not intervened, I would have fought against him, and it would have probably led to detention. I just couldn't control myself." She turned back towards him as she looked at his eyes. "And he meant what he said." "I see. Then it's alright," she said, as the both of them sat there. Until Naruto spoke up once again. "You mean a lot to me," he said, "and you are as precious to me as my family." Her eyes widened on hearing that. Did he really mean that? "Naruto, look, I know I'm an idiot, and sometimes I speak before I think," but she squeezed his hand, stopping him. "It's alright. You don't need to clarify everything to me. You're my friend, and I'll stay by your side always." She wasn't sure, but she could feel like he was smiling behind his mask. "Besides, you're a moron, and you will screw up without me," she said, jokingly. "And you'll be alone without me, emo," said Naruto. Moron, emo, moron, emo. As the both of them laughed as they thought the same thing. "No matter what happened, I won't let anything happen to you." Time skip. The wild wind was blowing, as he saw the full atmosphere in front of him. A few birds flew over his head. What a dream. Naruto, he heard someone scream. As he turned his head, Naruto first screamed once again. As Naruto blinked and realized that he was in the air, and he was falling from the sky, he looked down to see Armin a few feet below him. And where the hell were they? "Who the hell is this?" he shouted. Never. In his entire life he has been so frightened before. "I don't know. We're falling from the sky," Armin shouted. As Naruto realized that this was not a dream at all, they were really falling from the sky, his eyes saw the ground a few thousand feet below them. As Armin started to cry, "We're gonna die." He screamed, "We're gonna die, Naruto," he screamed. Even if they were shinobis, they were falling from so high, and that meant death for anyone. And to make it worse, they were kids. As Armin felt himself drifting into unconsciousness, before he was grabbed and shook violently. "Calm down. I'll get us out alive," said Naruto. Armin saw that Naruto was afraid, but he trusted him. They saw the ground approaching. They had 40 seconds before they were crushed to death. As Naruto took several deep breaths, "Armin, I'm gonna do something crazy," said Naruto. "Well, aren't we all? Crazy bastard," Armin said. If he was gonna die, at least he had his friend with him. "I don't know if this is gonna work, but I can feel a large amount of water in the air," said Naruto. As Naruto pushed the head of Armin and started to dive deeper below him, Armin was quite shocked when he felt the explosion of chakra. When he looked below, Naruto was covered in blue flames. "What is this?" Armin thought, in shock. "Water clone technique," said Naruto. As Armin looked around, he saw hundreds of clones forming around in the protected barrier. There was a lot of them, but then he saw Naruto falling more quickly, and blood was leaking from his nose. "Damn it, did he use all his chakra?" Armin thought in fear. "Clone army, prepare yourself for crash landed. Surround yourself around me and Armin immediately." Armin saw all of the clones surrounding them, quickly and tightly compact. As he wondered, where was Mikasa and Rinjuku? Was they doing the same thing? As they dropped, Armin fell unconscious. When he blinked, he opened back his eyes slowly. As he realized that he was no longer in the air, he quickly got up, but he collapsed backwards, moving too quickly. As he looked around as he tried to find Naruto, as he realized he was in a small field, there was many tall trees nearby, and a puddle of water everywhere. As Armin fully got up, something dropped from his pouch, a small scroll. As he picked up the scroll, he wondered what was he supposed to do with it. Don't act risky, this world is full of lies, Mikasa always told him. He didn't know if it was a booby trap, and he couldn't open it now. He had to find Naruto, so he stashed it back in his pouch. As he slowly started to walk toward the direction of the forest, his legs were hurting, but at least they were not broken. So many questions ran through his mind. First, who dropped them from the sky? That thought alone sent shivers down his spine, as he remembered that memory. If it wasn't for Naruto, he would be a goner right now, as he wondered if they were purposely thrown or not. He grabbed his head. I'll go mad if I keep on thinking about this. He had a problem of always overthinking things. Suddenly, a loud scream echoed across the entire area, and he was snapped from his thoughts immediately, as he heard hissing noises all around. When Armin turned, the ground exploded, blowing him away, as a massive snake that towered above him looked down towards him with a hungry look in its eye. Holy crap, Armin thought, as he got to his feet and ran. He ran like hell. He didn't look back, he just ran. As fast as his legs could take him, he wondered if he could climb the trees, but it would take time and the snake was right behind him. He lost his balance as he fell, in a roll, collapsing on the ground, as he felt pain shoot over all of his body. He heard the hissing sound as he slowly turned. He winced in pain as his leg got twisted, and the giant snake loomed over him. I won't let you eat me, he yelled as he picked up a few stones and threw them towards the snake. The snake simply batted him away with his head, as he opened his mouth that was dripping saliva. As Armin's eyes went wide. I'm sorry, Mikasa, Naruto, he said. As he closed his eyes, he heard a whistling sound. As he opened back, a bright arrow was right in front of him. He looked up as he saw a clean hole right through the snake's head. As Armin looked up to who saved him. Yo, a voice said. You, said Armin. Meanwhile, as Naruto woke up to find himself lying upside down, on top of a tall tree. Where am I, he thought. His vision was still groggly. His entire body was in pain. He realized there was blood on the ground. This blood was coming from him. As he touched his face, the blood was his own. As he felt a pain in his left hand, he tried his best to calm down himself to not scream. As he saw there was a lot of trees everywhere, he was in some kind of forest. There was no one around him. As he started to panic as he wondered where Armin was. As he made a wrong move as he fell off the branch, he tried to grab a few bushes but his hand just tear right through them as he collapsed. He screamed on top of his lungs as he dropped hard. Time skip. With Armin, he was inside of a small cave, as he couldn't believe what happened today. First thing, they fell from the sky like angels. Next thing, his friend could not be found anywhere, and a giant snake almost killed him. If not for her, he would have been dead. But Armin felt ashamed. Why did you save me, he asked. Rinjuku placed a hand on his shoulder. Do I need a reason to, she said. You should have just left me to die, he said. She grabbed him and looked him in the eye. Why should I leave my friend to die? I don't understand, she said, confused. She saw a sad look in his eye. She didn't know anything about his past, so making assumptions would be useless. This is hell. This world, it's hell, he said, in a terrifying tone. She pulled him into a tight hug. It's gonna be alright, she said, as she patted the top of his head. Only the strong survive in this world. There's no place for a weakling. My friends, try to be strong for me and protect me. But I'm weak, he said. I can't even save my own life. You had to save me. What if they're in trouble, and I can't do anything about it, he said. As she looked at him, he had severe self-esteem issues, probably from his past, that was dug deep inside of him. Hey, it's not a bad thing if your friends help you, she said. No, I want to fight alongside them, and not just be a weakling, he said. Today, I nearly died twice. What happened to you, she asked. Both me and Naruto were thrown from the sky. Her eyes widened. Impossible, she said. It's true. If not for Naruto, I would be dead. He created so many water clones from thin air. There wasn't even a source nearby. And now he's out there in the forest all alone. And I can't do a damn thing, Armin yelled, as she covered his mouth. Be quiet. This forest is dangerous. I woke up today and found myself hanging from a cliff. What do you say? Said Armin. We need to stay here. This forest is very dangerous. On my way here, I noticed a couple bodies of some of the cadets. Armin got horrified on hearing that. He was worried about his friends. He wanted them to be safe. Rinjuku saw what he was thinking. I didn't find Naruto or Mikasa body. They are alive, she said. That's a relief, he said. But he still had to find them no matter what happened. Armin, I want to ask you something. I know that Naruto is from too powerful clan, and he's the son of the Hokage, but only the second Hokage can create water out of thin air. Don't you think it's strange for Naruto to have the same ability? She asks. Armin thought about her theory. He knew that Naruto was strong, but he has never seen anything like that before. And also he had no idea that Naruto had that kind of ability that was similar to the second Hokage. I don't know, Rinjuku. We'll ask him when we find him. Rinjuku smiled, at least he was getting back some confidence. Armin then looked towards her. What was that weapon you used to kill a snake, he asked. She smiled, she made a hand sign, there was a poof, as a bow and arrow appeared in her hand. Whoa, that's amazing. She giggled a bit on seeing his reaction. He was kind of cute. This is the ability I inherited from my father. I can control my chakra and give it a precise shape and use it as a weapon. I can fire multiple enemies at once and destroy enemies. Is that why you were chosen for Black Light? Armin asked. Well, I hope so, she said. As Armin smiled, hey, I'm glad you're here, he said. Meanwhile, Naruto was limping in the forest. His entire body felt like it has been through a meat grinder. Blood was coming from his head. He was badly wounded, and without any medical help, he wouldn't last that long in this forest. But still, it would be worth it if he was able to save his friend. His vision was blurry, and with each step he was feeling more pain. He wasn't sure about his condition of his legs. I can't give up. I can't leave Mikasa and Armin here, said Naruto as he coughed blood, as blood fell on the grass beneath him. He then looked as he saw a trail of blood heading straight upwards. As Naruto started to lead towards where the blood was going, he had to be cautious because he didn't have any weapons, and not to mention, he used up his chakra making those clones. He made a small turn, and what he saw next shocked him. He had never seen a sight like that before. The next second he peeped badly. There in front of him was a badly mutilated body, and was a member of Black Light, one of the cadets. It was a young boy the same age as him, but his stomach was torn apart. It was like someone did it with their bare hands. As Naruto moved to check on the identity because their face was so mutilated, he could not tell. As he saw the name, Shinko Zaika. As Naruto remembered this boy, he was not the Chinese, but who killed him in such a way? There wasn't any bite or claw marks. Someone just ripped him. This was horrible. He then felt people, as he could feel them with his sensory ability, and the presence started to multiply. As Naruto looked around cautiously, I'm surrounded, as he wondered if they were friends or foe. As Naruto saw, what the hell? He moved back in fear what he saw. He couldn't understand. His enemies were not some animals or creature. They were humans. To be more specific, they only looked human. They were crawling with the help of their hands and legs. They were terrifying. They were wearing Black Light uniform. They were growling and roaring. What are you? They had long hair. They had sharp canine teeth and claws and fangs. They looked like they were in their teens, 15 to 16-year-old. As he saw some of them eating flesh, they were the one that ate Shinko. They had ripped him apart. One of them leaped towards him as Naruto moved, crashing on the ground. His legs was then grabbed by two of them as he came down and sank his teeth into his leg. Screw you, said Naruto as he kicked them away, as he leaped backwards, panting harshly. These guys were not humans. They were animals. He needed to get out of here. As he started to run for his life, the things were crawling and chasing after him, as he was getting weaker and weaker as the time passed. You're making the wrong choice, Naruto, because hell awaits you. His mother was right. She was right. This was hell. He did not imagine such a thing happening in his wildest dreams. He then felt someone grabbed him and pulled him by the tree and pressed him against it as a hand placed over his mouth. He looked to see that it was Mikasa. Mikasa, he murmured in shock. She gave him a stern look for him to be quiet. One of those creatures popped on their left side as Mikasa turned and stabbed it right through its skull. Naruto watched in shock as the body fell, and she slowly removed the kunai. She killed someone. As Naruto looked at her, she just killed someone. His hands were shaking badly. It's gonna be alright, she said, as she pulled her kunai and moved. As Naruto watched as she cut down two more, a stab right into the heart, and a slash right across the eyes, and it fell. She killed him. It was like she had done this before, like she had no problem in taking a life. This girl was something else. There was so much about her that he did not know. She wiped away the blood from kunai as she came over. She saw the look in his eyes, but she couldn't blame him. This was the first time he had seen a murder. She knew how she had felt when it happened in front of her. I should not think about that memory right now, she thought to herself. Only the victor survive in this war. This world is merciless, Naruto. The sooner you accept that, the more you can survive. As she tried to stop the blood that was leaking from his head, as she then saw 2 drops of blood fell on his face. She looked up as she saw 2 of those creatures above them, as one of them grabbed onto her. She could not break free from its grasp. As she saw that Naruto was still in shock, the creature was about to kill him. Naruto, she screamed, as Naruto looked up and reached, and grabbed the creature claw hand that was about to tear into his throat. As he held on tight, but the thing was stronger. Damn it, am I really gonna die here, he thought. Mikasa cried out as she got slashed across the arm. As Naruto's eyes changed as they became so cold, it sent a shiver down her spine. I won't let you hurt her, he screamed as he gripped his hands into the creature's eyes, destroying them before tearing its skull apart. He then moved as he stabbed the other one, the kunai that they picked up, and started to stab it over and over. Die, 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 he shouted. She watched as Naruto repeatedly stabbed the creature over and over, and he was not stopping. She grabbed his hand as he turned towards her. There was this animalistic look in his eyes. It's over, she said. But he knocked away her hand and started to stab the creature again. She grabbed his hand and threw away the kunai as she sat, right on his chest. As she gripped both of his hands and slammed them on the ground. It's over, she said. We're safe, as she tried to calm him. As she maintained her look, as she went closer to his face. It's over, Naruto. Calm down, we're safe, she said. As she saw the emptiness in his eyes. It was the same, like with her first kill. She had never seen him so broken before, even if they were shinobi. They were just 8-year-old kids. And today he took to life in a barbaric way. As she felt his pain. None of them were sure what happened next. But someone initiated the kiss, but they weren't sure who did it. As Naruto didn't know what the hell was going on, or who started this. After a few seconds she broke away. The both of them looked at each other shocked, as they had no idea what just happened. The whole situation and that just... What the hell was that, she asked in shock. Looking a bit embarrassed, her cheeks were a bit red. I don't know, he said. Time skip. As Naruto and Mikasa were walking the forest, well, she was supporting him given that he was badly injured. But it seemed like he did not like it. Even though he had on his face mask, she could see that he was frustrated. Something wrong? He looked at her for a moment before averting his eyes. He just couldn't understand what was happening all of a sudden. A few of their comrades were already dead, and more could be dying. Naruto, she said, snapping from his thoughts. And he didn't want to think about that kiss right now. But there was something else that was bugging him. How could you kill them so easily? They were humans. Even though they were messed up, they were not just some animals, he said. She sighed tiredly. There was no choice. Can't you see that they lost their minds? They could not tell between animals or humans, much less comrades. But there could have been another way, he said. He did not feel regret of defending her and protecting her. But, do you feel guilty about killing them, she asked. No, he said. We were defending ourselves. I don't feel any regret, but it's just strange, he said. She stopped walking. Even if he didn't want to admit it, he had lived a sheltered life. And he didn't understand most things in this world. And that look in his eyes, it was the same that she had all those years ago. What could have been done doesn't matter. Who lives, who dies. This is war, she said. You did the right thing today. If you hadn't killed them, I would have been dead. The only thing that matters is survival. He gave a slow nod as he accepted it. But still, don't you think it was strange? They look like humans, but... She had an idea of what happened to them. She'd seen something like that before, and it still terrified her. They had been poisoned, she said. What do you mean, said Naruto? A few years ago, there was an outbreak in Fire Country. Or rather, it was created. Created, said Naruto as he wondered who would do something like that. I don't know the entire truth, but during the Third Great Ninja War, Orochimaru had experimented on a few people. A poison that break the person's mind and turn them into a mindless drone. For them to turn into a weapon that kill anything that comes in their way, said Mikasa darkly. This is madness, said Naruto. It's inhuman. When he defected from Konoha, he used a poison on a small village, in order to create chaos for the Fire Country. Before the daimyo could arrive there, it was already infected to the point of no return, and they had to burn the entire village and everyone inside to stop the disease from spreading. Naruto was horrified from hearing that. He saw tears from Mikasa's eyes as he turned. As he placed a hand on her cheek and wiped away the tears. Mikasa, how do you know all of this, he asked. It was my village, she said in tears. My entire family was wiped out, and as I looked at those troopers, it's the same, she said. It's just like back then. As Naruto's heart broke hearing that, as her voice was filled with pain and regret. As Naruto felt himself getting weaker and weaker, he didn't know why now. But he couldn't pass out yet. As he wiped away her tears, I'm all alone. Why was I the only one that survived? As she lowered her head, but Naruto pulled her into a hug. Moron, as long as we're together, you won't be alone. You have friends now that will do anything for you. And I'll be your family, said Naruto from now on. Her hands came up and embraced him back. Mikasa, said Naruto. I know, she said, as she pulled out her kunai slowly. As she threw it into the bushes, a loud yell was heard as 3 people fell out. She looked to see who it was as she sighed. We could have killed you, you idiot, she said. As Naruto saw that it was Aizumo, Katetsu and Shizune. Well, it could have at least been a show, said Katetsu. Shizune punched him over the head. Katetsu, don't say things like that. Do not make fun of their pain. I think you want this back, said Aizumo as he handed her the kunai. As they heard a thump, as Naruto fell on the ground. His body finally giving out. It seems I finally found some friends, Mom, he said. Meanwhile, in a small field, 2 figures looking at each other. Both of them had red eyes. As Mikato was one of them as she flashed Yuhan sign, fire style. Fireball jutsu, she said. As Itachi was standing there calm in the fireball, engulfed him. Her eyes went wide in a bit of panic. It isn't going to be that easy, Mom. The voice said from behind her. She had to admit her son was skilled with the Sharingan. She was quite surprised when he activated, and it was already in the Tomo stage. Quite good, but not enough. As she vanished, as Itachi felt a gentle hand rest on his back. How? He said in shock. Experience. I have fought in a world war, and I can easily see through your tricks, she said. But you're growing, every single day, she said, as she ruffled his hair. I'll do better next time, he said. She smiled upon hearing that. I'm sure you will, now training is over. I need to get back to the hospital, the final. Preparations for the war, it's almost over. She was about to leave, but he grabbed her hand, as she turned to look at him. Mom. Will Big Brother be alright, he asked. As he hasn't heard anything about his brother in weeks, it was like he just disappeared from the world. She bit her lip. Her son hit her on the right spot. It has been so long, and she was worrying the entire time. As she remembered his last words to her, forgive me. Those words still rang in her ears. Their last talk was a disaster and it was her damn fault. He will be fine. He's strong enough to protect himself, she said flatly. As she started to walk away. Is that why you always look at his picture at nights? Itachi asked as she froze. She clenched her fists. She was so worried. Where was he? Was he even alive? Was he getting proper food and water? Was he all alone? Even Minato had refused to tell her about his location when he found out about her last meeting with him. To say that he was disappointed was a, well, underestimation. If you walk through that gate, then don't come back. As she raised her fist and banged it in the ground, Mom said Itachi as he ran after her. As she screamed to the heavens, he saw blood from her hands. It had been like this ever since his brother left. His mother was there for him, doing her best, and doing her best as a second in command. For the hospital medics, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, she said. Itachi grabbed her, as she saw a reflection of Naruto within him. He was always there for her. In her anger, she made a mistake and destroyed the relationship. And it was all her fault, and she hated herself for that. I'm not a good mother. I just couldn't understand him. Nor could I understand that he went to war to protect our family. How could I make such a stupid mistake, she said loudly. All I ever wanted was for the both of you to live safe and have a peaceful life. Was I wrong for thinking that? She felt a hand on her cheek as Itachi wiped away her tears. No, it was completely right. But you just have to think about the feelings of other people. If you look at our pain only, we're being selfish. Right now, people are out there risking their life and fighting for the ones that they love. And Big Brother can understand your pain, so no matter what happened, he will still love you. As Mikato was shocked, as she remembered her last words, he understood her pain, but he still went off and did what was right. I'll apologize to you when you get back, she said. As Itachi smiled on hearing that, as Itachi looked up to the heavens. I really hope you come back soon, Big Brother, he thought. The blue in the sky reminded him of his big brother, so kind and gentle. Time skip, it was night time, and the group was gathered in the forest. The terrifying noise prevented them from sleeping. Mikasa was lying down beside the unconscious Naruto. She was getting worried that he hasn't woke up yet, Even Shizune healing him did not woke him up. How is he? He's barely alive. So many injuries. I'm surprised that he was still up when we find you guys. Will he make it? Asked Izumo. Kadetsu looked at Naruto. In the training camp they had become good friends. And Naruto's a tough bastard. He'll make it. He may be a pain in the ass, but he's tough. I have healed all of his external injuries. Even his broken hand is now fine. His hand was broken? Said Mikasa. He didn't tell you that? Mikasa shook her head no. I'll break every bone in his body when he wakes up, she said. How could he just hide his injuries like that? You know, that really made you guys look like dummies, said Kadetsu. The next moment he was punched right in the face by Mikasa and Shizune. As Izumo's sweat dropped, even though they were fine shinobis, they were acting like kids. Wait, what the hell am I saying? We are kids, he thought. Have he gone insane, he wondered to himself. But there's something wrong, says Shizune. What's that? You said that you were attacked by one of those freaks. One of them bit him. It seems that the poison has passed in through his system. Can you heal him? Mikasa asked as memories of that night started to flash in her mind. She didn't want to lose him. There's no need for healing him, and even if I wanted, I could not. This poison is incurable. Simple language, Doc, said Izumo, as Shizune sighed. Instead of harming his body, the poison is changing him. I've never seen something like this before. It's like his body is absorbing the poison and changing something inside of him. But it's beyond my ability to say for certain what is going on. The others were happy to know that it was not harming him. So, why do you think that we were thrown in this place, said Kadetsu? Survival test, said Mikasa. Are you kidding me? You call this a survival test? We nearly got killed today. All of us woke up in a death-like situation, said Kadetsu furiously. You just proved my point was right, said Mikasa. As they all understand being thrown into life and death situations, no food, no water. They were supposed to survive. Do they want to kill us? Shizune asked in fear. It has just been a day in this forest had terrified her to her soul. She's right. We need to stay alert or we will die, like some of the other cadets, Izumo said. Meanwhile, a person was watching from the shadows. The person wouldn't be there if Naruto was awake, because he couldn't hide from a sensor, like Naruto. But now that he was unconscious, he was watching them. Mikasa Ackerman, so, you were the child that survived the outbreak. Your parents must have drove you away from the village before Blacklight destroyed it. Your skill so far has been very impressive. Shizune is a good medic. I'll have to test the two boys as well. Han thought to himself. As for Namikaze, well, if they survive, they will be in Blacklight. That's if they survive. Still, there was a lot of time left, and the final test would determine if they were worthy, because if they fail, it would be worse than death. Time skip. Naruto opened his eyes. The first thing he noticed that he was under a tree. As the warm ray of sunlight came down. You okay there, buddy? Said Izumo. As Naruto saw Izumo towards his right, he still felt a bit dizzy, but he was back to normal. But his wounds, they had been healed. He looked towards Shizune as she was sleeping. She had healed him. I'm fine. How long was I outside? Naruto as he wiped some dust that was in front of his eyes. The entire night, Mikasa was so worried about your injuries. We fight together. Remember that, Izumo said. We? Said Naruto. As Izumo gave Naruto a small bottle of water. As Naruto drank it. Thanks. I really needed that, he said. As Izumo's smile returned. Look around you. We're all that we got. We left our family and friends behind. But in the end, I also fight for my friends as well as Konoha. So, will you fight by my side? As Naruto reached and took his hand. Till the end, brother, he said that she'll smile. As Shizune got up and grabbed both of them in a headlock. That's my friends. I'll watch your back too, she said. Makata and Kadetsu came back. As he saw the three of them. They look like idiots, said Kadetsu, with a joking tone until a kunai landed in front of them. Kadetsu's eyes widened when he saw the explosive note. Boom! A violent explosion rocked the entire area. As Naruto looked around confused, he couldn't hear anything. He was grabbed by the collar and lifted up off the ground. As Naruto blinked, you! Damn you, you don't deserve to be Blacklight. You let your guard down and now all of your friends are dead, said Han. As Naruto looked around as he saw them on the ground, not moving, not breathing. Izumo, Kadetsu, Shizune, Mikasa, they were covered in blood. Naruto's eyes widened in shock. That's right, I killed all of them. I know I'm gonna kill you. Before Han could attack Naruto, a strong force slammed into him as he slammed into a tree, 50 feet away from Naruto. Han was bleeding as he was shocked to his core. Just what in the world was that? As Naruto was standing there, Han blinked in shock. What is this? Rain started to pour from the heavens. I'm gonna tear you apart. I'm gonna rip you to pieces, Naruto screamed. His chakra is so powerful, it's causing a rain, said Han, as Naruto slowly lifted his head. As Han saw his eyes, which were now red, but what he saw next shocked him. Hundreds of wooden spikes started to emerge from the earth. But guys, be in subscribe right here. If you want the next part, do like, subscribe, comment down below, turn on that bell notification to stay posted. But I'm off for now, see you guys soon. Peace.